Hey, welcome to you and welcome to Rootwork Healing Tarot. So good to have you here today. So I'm very excited for what we're going to dive into. I've had a feeling the last couple of days as I've been, I guess, communicating with Spirit, and I felt like this reading was coming. So we're going to actually dive into a pick a topic reading today. So I'm going to ask you to actually pick one of these topics that you'd like to kind of focus on. So that's these are the topics that came out. I did a shuffle before hopping on this video recording, and I have a bunch of these like note cards with topics on them. So Spirit let me know they wanted to talk with you about 3 different topics. If you decide you want to watch for all 3, that's perfectly fine, but you can pick the ones that are most aligned for you. So I'll talk about each of these in just a second. But this is going to be a predictive reading. So as we move through each of these topics, we're going to talk about a couple of things. So just want to share with you generally what the breakdown is going to be. But we are going to discuss like what's going well. So using the very normal framework that I have, but within each of these topics, what's going well for you? What happens? So like in terms of a predictive type of reading here, like what happens? What is the trajectory? What's going to happen in the future if you continue on your current trajectory? Okay, so we're going to move into that. Then I want to see, depending on where the reading goes and what the energy feels like, we'll move into what, if any, changes Spirit wants you to make. So if there are any like adjustments or healing that Spirit wants you to do to give you a better outcome for this topic, then we're going to discuss that. And then we'll get to see very briefly towards the end of each of these, like what happens if you actually make those changes? How does that change your timeline? And what does the timeline you step into actually look like? So that's going to be the general framework for today. Okay, so we're going to move into each of these, but yeah, I will say I'm still working on the Pisces reading, so Pisces, I am getting to you. Just wanted to mention that quickly, but you will come after this reading, but Spirit really wanted me to do this reading today, so we're going to do that. All right, so each of these topics here, the first one we have, so this will be kind of pile 1 here, is going to be around authenticity. This is going to relate to, well, whatever comes up around an authenticity, but really as I intend it, like stepping into your authenticity or your authentic self. So we're going to talk more about that and like kind of dropping more into your identity and maybe layers of your identity and how you kind of express out in the world. So we'll see what comes up with that, but I'm excited for this one, definitely. But we have authenticity. The other one we have is around health. So this is pretty general, but like I said, we'll see what comes up here. This could be physical health, like medical health. It could be mental, emotional health. So I think we're going to leave that one open-ended, but it is related to just health and what you need to know that Spirit needs you to see currently based on your timeline. Okay, then the last one, this is going to be an LGBTQIA topic. I have on here, it says coming out, letting in. I am using the phrase that like Karamo from Queer Eye uses of letting in. So this is going to be around the process of what is currently called coming out, but essentially the process of letting in those around you and those you care for and love, and letting in, the world into your experience with sinking more into your authenticity. So these two definitely, maybe ones you want to check out both of those. But yeah, so those are the topics we have today. I'm very much so looking forward to this. Feel free to just skip right to the section and the category and topic here that relates to you, but I'll see you there. See ya. Hey pile 1, welcome to you. So let's go ahead and dive right into the topic here. So we have authenticity, which we're going to move through today. Okay, so I normally pull a theme card for each of my readings. I don't think no, we're not going to pull a theme card. I usually pull like an oracle card as a theme card. I think we're just going to get straight into it today. I feel like there's a lot Spirit wants to talk about and tell you about with kind of this timeline that you're currently on. So let's move into that. Before we do, we're going to move into what's going well for you. So what you're currently doing well that Spirit wants you to continue leaning into. So let's move into that. All right, authenticity. Authenticity. And I'm getting the sense that this could, this definitely relates to you, okay? But there may also be maybe a question in your environment around the authenticity of something else or someone else or something outside of you. So remember, everything that happens outside of us is a reflection of what's happening within us. So I think there's going to be some sort of mirror, that could be a mirror back into you of what, yeah, of like what you need to see. So perfect. The first card we got here with what's going well is the King of Wands. Okay, I really like this energy. There's something about the King of Wands that is very like sure of themselves. There's sort of a way they operate in the world that feels very confident, that feels very yeah, I'm hearing I'm hearing the phrase like floating on air. Yeah, so there's almost this energy here of like people may not realize all of the kind of internal workings of what you're going through with things. And so it's kind of just like, you know, on the outside, maybe this is at work, maybe this is, you know, in your personal life, but it feels like there's a radiation of confidence that's here, which I really, really like. I really like that energy. There's something that feels deeper here because the King of Wands is coming out to say like, that's the way you're being perceived, but it's also coming through in reverse, which is us, I think, moving into the what happens in current trajectory and predictive side. Spirit, can you tell me a little more? There's something about this that feels a bit too rigid. There's something about this that feels rigid. So I think there is, like I said, there is what's going well for you is that you seemingly appear on the outside to others like, I don't know, you've got it together is what I'm hearing, or like you know what you're doing, or you know what's going on, even if you don't necessarily feel it on the inside, which is what I'm kind of gathering is coming up right now. So let's take a look, Spirit. Do you want this deck? Okay. Yeah, so what's going to happen for pile one here? Because I'm seeing this King of Wands in reverse. It feels like there's something like shaky or... it's both. There's an energy here of being both shaky as well as being like too rigid. It's almost like... yeah, something's built on not solid ground and you're like trying to hold something together, but it just doesn't want to stay together. I'm almost seeing the Tower card right now, which is interesting. Yeah, okay. 10 of Wands, that makes sense. Yeah, there's like there's this energy of like holding together, right? I'm like holding it together for some reason, for you know, someone, for yourself. That's what I'm getting with this card here. So we're seeing the like snake and the way it's like holding these wands. It's almost like having to like hold it together or hold parts of yourself. I'm almost seeing these like spears, these wands as like parts of yourself that you're holding together. And it's held by the snake here, which is something that is a little deceptive. Like it feels like this isn't authentic to you. I knew this pile was about to be juicy. So I knew it. Okay. Yeah, there's something you're like holding together. And I'm almost like feeling like I don't know if there's like some tears coming with this message, or it's feeling a little bit like House of Cards energy. Like it's not stable, and you're trying to just barely, like, you know, keep the cards like tilt, you know, and it's just like, that's not gonna work, and it's taking a lot of effort. Like, this card is coming through as like a ton of effort, internal effort, for you to hold this together. And again, people on the outside don't know this. They really don't know all the parts you're keeping together. I'm definitely getting an energy here, especially if you're like a parent or something. There's definitely an energy here of like holding it together. Yes, okay, holding it together for your kids or for your family, or, you know, and it almost feels like there's something here that wants to like break and blow apart. Like, I'm getting very fiery wands type of energy here. So this feels like something that's like building up and would be coming at our current trajectory. Okay, it almost feels like something like you can't hold this forever. Like, I mean, you could, but I definitely don't think you want to. And I think if you did, I think you would run into some real problems if you did. But let's keep going, because I'm just getting some like tower energy. I don't know. Let's see, Spirit, do you want me to keep using this deck? Okay, they want me to keep going. Okay, they have a lot to say to you here. Okay, we're really getting a picture of what you're in your current trajectory, and what this path looks like for you. Spirit, I can't take all that. Okay. Yeah, they tried to give me a whole, there's so much wanting to come through. Okay. It's like, oh, finally. We're getting to talk to pile one. Okay. What do you need to say about this, Spirit? This is the current and future trajectory for pile one. Oh, Two of Wands in reverse. So interesting. Okay, and the Five of Swords. Yeah, okay. I keep talking about this energy. It feels like something you're like holding. Yeah, there it is. Three of Pentacles. Okay, let's get all this in view. So this is like, if you're not currently in this energy, this is the energy that's unfolding for you at your, like I said, in your current timeline. Okay, if you keep holding this Ten of Wands or this King of Wands in reverse energy of like, I'm going to like hold it together and keep it together, even as I feel these things shifting beneath my feet, even as I feel sort of the tower crumbling, even as I feel like things are overwhelming, there's too much. I'm going to just keep it held together, keep it inside, and no one will know. Again, there's an energy of deception here with this Ten of Wands. I am seeing you also in the version of this card, and I'm seeing like Nine of Wands, Ten of Wands, okay, for the Rider-Waite-Smith version of this deck, but I'm seeing both. It's like, because those cards speak really well to each other. They really do go hand in hand pretty well within this energy. But there's almost this like, there are so many like wounds that have sort of piled up in a sense that have kept you like rigid and stuck in this like, there's almost this, and it's not anything you're doing consciously. This is not something that like you're doing to other people or, projecting on the outside on purpose. Like, it just, there's this energy of like kind of self-deception, if that makes any sense, around like who you really are, what you really want, and maybe even like large parts of your identity. This could be tied up for someone to work. Maybe you're like working and you've been working and will move into a job that you're like, I actually don't like this at all, but I'm doing it because this is what I'm told I should be doing and what seems successful to others on the outside. I'm doing this because when I was younger, my parents were, very strict with me and very rigid. And there's this energy of maybe having like a hot temper from someone. I'm seeing the King of Wands here. and it just felt like you weren't able to like fully express yourself in some way. And so that's playing out. I'm seeing very clearly here the trajectory of what you're working through. This is almost the like inability to make the decision to go your own way with this Two of Wands. This Two of Wands is really speaking to kind of the, in this particular reading, it's speaking to the like decision point, almost on like a spiritual soul level of like the decision point to step into sort of what feels like right and aligned for you. And there's this element with the Five of Swords. We're seeing the snake again here. Again, there's more like deception coming through. This just feels like there's a lot of like self-deception here, and kind of this like pattern you're going to keep playing through. And I'm seeing this three, I'm just briefly touching on each of these right now. And that's because I really like want you to see kind of the picture we have in front of us before we dive even deeper here. But it just feels like, you know, with this Three of Pentacles, it's almost like you're doing it for others and not for yourself, right? This Three of Pentacles speaks to like others. It speaks to community. It speaks to collaboration. Okay, I got to call this out, because when I see this Three of Pentacles, specifically within this deck, this is the Essential Tarot deck that I have, and I have all that listed in the description box below, all the tarot decks that I use in my readings. But there's this element here with the tree. It's almost like this was ancestral. Like I'm seeing this as a like ancestral tree, and it's just one of those things where like I can't disappoint someone, you know, family members, or maybe this is another example of like in industry. I'm talking about career, but it doesn't have to be, okay? Like this can apply to any number of things. I am also seeing like with roles at home, or like within gender roles or things like that, okay? Like very I call it like it is, like outdated ways of kind of operating in some sense, okay? And so it's just like there's this energy here of like, well, you know, if this is an example here, but like this is what the family has always done. This is like our business that we've always run. Like we've always been in the, I don't know, meat deli industry. And so, you know, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And, you know, there's just something here that's inauthentic. That's like, this isn't really what you want to be doing. And you're kind of just holding it together because that's like what's expected of you, or that you feel this internal feeling. Even if someone hasn't even told you explicitly, like there's either memories associated with this, maybe like others in your family were ostracized or cast out for not aligning to this like system of belonging, or maybe it's like, I mean, that's definitely coming through. Like maybe you witnessed that when you were a child, and so that was something you like internalized. Yeah. Okay, I am catching that no matter what the scenario is. Like, it's almost this energy of like, I have to do it this way because it's been done this way. And I'm getting that also with the Five of Swords. Like I do equate the Five of Swords also with ancestry. That's the way I read it in my form of tarot reading. Especially in some of the other decks in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, where you can actually see the ancestors. But these two cards both came through to really speak to that. Like it's almost like what happened in either past lives or with past family members, like is like almost like repeating forward for you. And like it looks like you're right now on this current trajectory, you're just kind of like repeating what's already there. Okay, it's almost like a repetition of what has already happened, okay? And so there's really some just energy here of, I need to look at this like Five of Swords one more time, but there's just this energy of like a repeat, okay? And something that, like I said, you're holding together, even though deeply, 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 deep down, you want to, like this snake, shed this skin of what this, you know, is and what this has represented in your soul line for your family and just in general within your lifetime, and deeply wanting to almost, I'm seeing you kind of like burst through with this Two of Wands upright and like burst into this like sun energy here. and just kind of like expand and kind of go your own direction, like, you know, choose the other wand here. And so I definitely want to get into that with, we're going to get into that in just a few moments here, but like seeing what this other path holds for you. But this feels pretty clear to me. Yeah, it's just like, again, this is almost about appearances. That's the way the King of Wands is coming through. It's like this, you know, I need this to like appear a certain way. This is in reverse, but I'm looking at it upright. You know, I look like I'm doing great and doing fine and floating on air and dancing, and here's my wand and sunflowers. And actually on the inside, it feels like you're barely keeping a lid on this. I do sense, because there's so many wands and so much fire energy here, it almost feels like there's this sort of like eruption energy of like, I don't know if I can hold this in. And that doesn't even mean you're like erupting for anyone to see. It could just be like inside you're having these like, you know, internally having these moments where you're like, I'm just breaking down about this because I just can't freaking hold this. Like, it's too much. Okay. Hold these things that just aren't aligned anymore. All right, I'm taking a sip of my water here. I want to look at this like Five of Swords again. So give me a moment here. I need to like tap into that energy because this Five of Swords has more to say. Okay, so I'm just going to channel a little bit here because this is what's coming through, but it's almost like each of these like swords that you see in the background, I'm just going to share this with you. You see each of these like shattered swords. It's almost like each of these shattered swords, how do you want me to say that, Spirit? What does this like represent? Because this is representative. Okay, maybe I should say it this way. Let me say it this way. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Spirit. I need to switch the way I wanted to say that. So let's say it this way. It feels like these are all the things you don't want. Okay. And there's this one sword, this one, like, again, I'm almost seeing this mirrored with like the wand. There's like this one wand, one sword, one direction, one thing, you know, one path per se. I don't mean like one thing, like what a path you want to go. Okay. That you feel like is your truth, like the sword. I'm almost seeing like Ace of Swords here, like is the truth of your soul. But there's something here that's keeping you bound, like this snake. There's something here, and I almost feel like this is interesting, but it's coming through this way, so I'm just gonna channel it. It's almost like you've been told like falsities about taking that direction. Like, yeah, okay, my candle's really smoking right now. It's almost like there was a lot of illusion, smoke and mirrors. There may have been lies, deception around like taking that path. So for instance, if it's something like following your dream, launching your own business, doing this separate thing that you're really passionate about and that feels aligned with you, I'm seeing the sun here. It's almost like you've been told in the past, well, oh, that'll never work. You can't do that. That's not a real path. It's, you know, this won't make you money, or, you know, this won't lead to success, or, you know, if it's something like being like, I don't know, a solo parent or something, like, oh, you can't do that alone. You need someone else. Or there's just this energy here of like, oh, there it is. Like someone told you have to be like almost like dependent or codependent on someone or something else. Okay. And that's coming through really strongly with the snake. It's almost like keeping you bound to this like outdated, it's like keeping you, rather, let me say it this way. It's keeping your path forward restricted. Okay. So I'm just seeing this like play out for you. Yeah. I mean, this is the trajectory. And that feels really unfair to you. And like also, you know, if this is what you decide to be, and if you decide, you know what, I just don't feel like I have the, I'll say the star alignment, like the stars aligning, or the correct wind pattern for me to make this choice, to choose my Two of Wands, the right wand that I want to go with here, then this is what you can look forward to. Okay. Which is very much so this energy of the Five of Swords, of always feeling, and Ten of Wands, of always feeling, and Nine of Wands, like of being bound to this, okay? And of feeling like there's almost this mask happening. Like on the outside you appear one way, on the inside you feel a totally different way. Like it's almost like you're not even passionate about, there's no like energy, there's no soul life, there's no soul fire. Yeah, soul fire into this, okay? So, okay, so there's that. All right, give me a second here. I'm gonna switch gears because I feel like that's really clear. Do we need anything else on this, Spirit? Okay, so they really want to get into what changes. Let's go, Spirit. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the changes. Give me one moment here. I'm just gonna see if I can't pull this up a little. Hopefully you can still see this card. Hold on. I wanna make sure you can still read it, mostly. Okay, if you can't, I'm sorry, but hopefully you can. Okay, let's move this up a little bit here, or what's another way we're gonna do this? Okay, so I may put those here so we can keep referencing those. Okay, and we're gonna build out a little bit in here. I just use the other space here. Make sure you can see that. Okay, all right, so let's go into this next bit. So the next part we wanna get into, Spirit really wants to talk about, is like what changes, what if any changes that you can make here. Okay. Okay, so let's get into that. I mean, ultimately, again, if that's your life path, that's your life path. Like, there is no right or wrong answer here. Like, if that's just the way you need to live your life, like, that's your life and that's the way to live it. And ultimately, that's your destiny and your fate, okay? But I do want to see, for those of you who are ready to shift into that, like, Two of Wands energy and to take a different path, let's take a look at that. Okay, hold on. They want me to cut the deck. One second. All right, Spirit. What, if any, changes can Pile One make to maybe realign this future trajectory here? Yeah, well, I mean, that's definitely part of it. Okay. Okay, so they gave us quite a few cards. Let's see what we can do with that. I'm just gonna put this a little bit here so you can make sure we get all this in view. Okay. Are these all upright? Okay, yes, these are all upright. I mean, I love these cards. They're beautiful. Okay, here we go. So let's go through this one by one and kind of build this out a little bit. So this says bird. It says freedom, opportunity. There's a number of different bird types here. Okay, so the first thing that's catching my eye here is the kind of vulture. I think this is a vulture. That's what came through to me. So there's something here around using the sort of, okay, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna clarify, but there's almost like using the like dead energy of like okay, no, let me say it this way. There's an energy here of like composting. Yes, okay. So Spirit wants you to compost. Composting in this reading means taking the, like I mentioned, like dead energy or inner energy or the things that no longer serve you that you shed, okay? Assuming, you know, you make these changes and you go through this like renewal, revival, all of this that we're going to talk about. There's an energy here of using that almost as like fuel, composting it into fuel for your new path, okay, for your new timeline. So they want me to be very, very clear that anything you've done up to this point is not wasted, Okay, it is not wasted, and is not wasted energy. It is not wasted time. You know, energy is never wasted. It just gets, again, composted, transmuted. It gets changed. It comes in different forms. Like it equals and balances out. Okay. And so spirit really, really wants to be very clear. So even if this moment you're like watching this and you're like, yeah, I need to make these changes. Like, okay, spirit is saying like, good, do that. And also like whatever you've done up to this point, it will support you. It'll become almost like the soil, like a plant, right? It'll be like this composted soil for a new plant. Oh, look, our leaves, our plant. We see that? Okay. Yeah, that's exactly it. That is the like energy here. And this leaves card says renewal, revival, progress. Like whatever it is that you're composting here, if you decide to go through this kind of compost process, which it does seem like it's the encouragement from spirit, there is this energy that it actually creates this like beautiful, lovely like leaves and environment for you. Like it is part of the revival that you're going through and that like rebirth. It actually like fuels that process for you, and it becomes like the soil for this new plant, the leaves, the, you know, what you're building next. Okay, how you're growing. Yeah, that feels really beautiful. I don't even have words to describe how beautiful that feels. It feels very like circle of life. If I can say that, it feels very circle of life. So, you know, maybe go watch The Lion King or something. But there's like an energy here of that. Okay. Okay. So, yes, this says freedom and opportunity. It feels like, again, you kind of like unburden yourself from this in some ways. It does open up more freedom in terms of your path forward and your timeline moving forward. There's almost like this, again, the Two of Wands is really being highlighted here, but like there's this ability for you to choose your path forward. And that I think feels really, really different and really, really new. And I'm not getting the sense that has been something maybe anyone in your like family line or, you know, too many people outside of you have done, that, I want to say it this way. It feels like very inspired. Okay. It feels very inspired. Oh, excuse me. Hold on one second. And in fact, I think you become an inspiration for others. So I'll just say that. Okay. I'm gonna leave that there, but that definitely feels very strong here. I think there's another energy here. Let me tap into this card, progress. Yes. Okay. So you end up making, this is part of like what happens if you make those changes, but you end up making more progress on this new path than you would ever make in this old, like in this timeline. If you decide to continue in this timeline, like the amount of progress your soul makes. And again, it's on a very like spiritual level. I'm seeing the potions like shake here. They're like shaking now. The spirit's showing me the animation of them like shaking, and you like shaking up the potion here. But it just, the amount of magic is just coming through so strong. It's just like, it feels like it unlocks a part of you. There's like an unlocking energy here. Okay, I'm almost seeing like, they're showing me like a padlock and a key, and it like, the padlock coming open. They're also showing me the snake unwinding from this sword, okay, and from this 10 of Wands. Yeah, I see that. That feels really, really good. And my eyes being drawn to this, the pentagram and the pentacle on this potion card. I don't know if you see that right here. Yeah. So the spirit is trying to say here, like, it unlocks some sort of gift that you have. There's some sort of like spiritual gift. And again, to you, you know, you don't have to be particularly spiritual, like overtly, but there's something around like, again, aligning with your soul is a spiritual process. So it does unlock something of your like innate gifts and what you're here to do. So I'm definitely feeling that. For some of you, it may be like herbalism, potion making of some sort, mixology. It could be, you know, like, you know, that actually this could be literal for someone, or food, you know, again, I'm catching with the leaves, like kind of food industry or food something, I don't know, farming. So there's a lot, maybe like animal stuff here. So not so much those two, but I'm definitely feeling like that. that aligns with you. It doesn't have to be at all, but Spirit wants me to like shout that out if that's something that, you know, is a passion for you. Okay, yeah. So they were showing me there's like a little moon here. You can't really see it. There's a little like moon here, but something you don't see, something that's unknown is that like it actually unlocks. You find your way to a gift, into a passion, and to something you're good at that you didn't even know. Like this feels like completely surprising, I'll be honest. It feels like you're like, oh snap, I'm actually really good at this. Like, so that feels really, really pleasant. Yeah, and this card says invigoration, empowerment. I mean, it definitely does empower you. Oh, that was the other message. Sorry, I didn't want to lose this thread. With this is coming through also as a pentacle, like a pentacle, okay? There's a level of success you find here within like this energy that I don't think you were expecting. I'm seeing the like green of this potion now, and I think there's something, again, fresh, new, but it also feels successful, and it feels financially successful for you. I don't know. I'm just channeling this timeline, but it feels, and I'm seeing the green from the leaves card. Yeah, it's like I'm almost seeing these as like dollar bills now, which is so interesting. It's such an interesting like animation and vision for Spirit to show me, but this feels really successful for you. I don't know, there's something here that feels like what you have, you've earned and you've worked hard for, and like to go this other path, to choose the Two of Wands, to walk your path, I think feels so deeply rewarding. There's something here that's really, really rewarding. I love that for you. I absolutely love that. Okay. Spirit, do we want to keep talking about like what other, what happens? Like what's the future trajectory? Okay. Okay. So assuming you make these changes, which, like I said, I feel like what the key point is, and they're showing me the beak of this bird here. The key like point here is for you to see through the illusion, to see through the misconceptions, through the falsities of like you can't have this thing, whatever it is that you like actually want to go towards, because Spirit is definitely saying with this future energy, and you know what changes to make here, like it is absolutely there and possible for you. And so I think this is going to be a big like shift for you to move out of what feels like an ancestral pattern of like, oh, we have to be stuck and bound. And again, there's something very rigid here. We have to be like stuck and bound. I'm seeing the Ten of Wands again, to this way of like living and this way of being that just doesn't feel authentic to you. And there's a lot of freedom. Again, the first card we pulled was freedom. Like the bird. It feels like, again, this is you really floating on air. Like actually floating on air, not the like mask wearing version of this that we saw in the King of Wands in reverse. Okay. Like this is like you actually like spreading your wings. Like there's how many like flying, right? Like, and that comes with the like rebirth kind of renewal revival process that you go through. So I think it's going to take some healing work to really like heal through the illusions that have been either taught to you really young or a part of the like systems of oppression of like you can't possibly do this because, you know, money and success and whatever the things are that are told to us that are just super untrue and unhealthy. Again, it's an illusion. Okay, but there's no lack. Again, we live in an abundance matrix. We actually live in an abundance matrix, and like I think that's going to be the kind of like change and challenge for you. But I feel like once you step into that energy, yeah, the magician energy here, that's what's on the other side for you. Okay. Oh, they're showing me. Okay. Oh, wow. Here we go. Here we go. There it is. There it is. Okay. Let me show you all these cards. I didn't even have to shuffle. Spirit is like, I'm ready. I've been wanting to talk to pile one. So they showed me this is your future trajectory here. The magician, the creator. I mean, this is one of the, in my opinion, one of the best cards in the deck. It is the alchemist. It is the one who composts, the one who uses that kind of old material and composts it and alchemizes and transmutes it into something new. The Lovers, this speaks to your soul alignment. This speaks to match alignment. This is speaking to you and yourself, you meeting yourself without the deception, but as a part of your shedding process that you go through, you're able to actually meet yourself when you go into that shadow and into the shadow work that's needed for you to break out of this. I'm going to call it a pattern of oppression, because that's what it is, but like this pattern of oppression. Okay. Look at that. You got the Queen of Cups. This leaves you feeling so incredibly fulfilled. I mean, this cup is glowing, right? This person's glowing. This heart chakra is glowing. Like, this person is feeling so good. There are pearls. Like, again, there's a level of success here. There's a level of emotional fulfillment and contentment. I don't know if you see the kind of like faces on all of these cards. They're all very content. Very content. And yes, of course, this Lovers card can speak to potentially meeting a partners or partners. It can speak to that, or connections. Doesn't have to be romantic. It can speak to that. But because you've stepped into your real like authenticity, then your connections will reflect that. Okay. But right now that's not the energy. They're showing me the Lovers in reverse. And so, this is what you have to look forward to if you decide to step into these changes. The World, you break the pattern, you break the cycle, you break the pattern of oppression that was happening within your family cycle. You're able to like make a different decision than those who came before you. Okay, this is important. This is so important. It cannot be overstressed here how much Spirit wants you to go through this and wants you to look at the things that you are holding together, like the House of Cards, and wants you to move through the energy of breaking the cycle. Let's get to these two quickly, because if you notice, both of these cards are working with the same elements. They're working with air, water, fire, earth. So there is an energy of you making and creating and manifesting your own new world. And look, there's a level of satisfaction and contentment and magic to this process. When I was talking about your gifts coming online, they come online through this process. And as you do that, you step into a new timeline. Here's the new timeline. It's the Three of Wands. This to me represents a new timeline, because you see you stepping through the portal of these wands. You've stepped through, you've chosen the wand, you've stepped through, and look what's in the horizon here on the other side. Again, a brand new world for you. So I feel like the decision you have to make is, do you continue what you've been doing to be, and I'm going to loop back around to the authenticity piece here of this reading, but do you continue to loop what you've been doing, which is keeping it together, holding it together when that's not actually what you want to do? Or do we move into the energy here of this new beginning, this new cycle, this new, this is just incredibly like successful. There's a level of success here. They're showing me the Six of Wands now, and they're showing me the I don't even know where I can put these, but I'm just gonna put these right here. They're also showing me the Three of Cups of celebration. Now, that doesn't mean here, I'm going to say this, it doesn't mean it doesn't come with maybe some heartbreak, some Ten of Swords energy, some like things that need to change, people, places, things that need to fall away, of course. However, this timeline looks real. I mean, I honestly could not have pulled a better set of cards. And there's three major arcana here. Queen of Cups is one of the best cards in the deck. And we have the Three of Wands showing your new timeline, and it is available for you to step through. Okay. All right, pile one. So I'm actually feeling guided to pull an oracle card for you to close out this part of the reading. But wow, this was powerful. I mean, I'm seeing how big these like future energies are for you. I mean, again, the fact that we got three major arcana, I mean, just the freedom, the bird energy, the just revival, the progress, the empowerment. I mean, there's a lot on the other side of you recognizing the ways that you're repeating an ancestral pattern here of like, you know, keeping parts of your identity like stuck and stagnant, and Spirit really wants you to embrace like who you really are deep down, and the parts of you that need to be seen and need to be felt and need to be embraced is the word. I love it. Here it is. So the card we have is the second bloom. I'm going to read from this from the description, the guidebook. But this says on here, the second bloom, a second chance. It's never too late, new possibility. So even if like, you know, if you're someone who's like 60 years old, 70 years old, it doesn't matter. It's not too late for you to step into this energy and for you to have the life that you want and to experience that. Like, again, there's this illusion we have that we're told by the patriarchy that like we have, you know, we're out of time, we're limited in time, and you know, this is it, and things like that. And it's such an illusion and such a lie, quite frankly, because again, we are spiritual beings, and this is just one of our forms as this human in this lifetime. So like, you will continue to have opportunities to have your second bloom, but Spirit is trying to say you can have that in this lifetime, okay? You get to have that. It doesn't matter where you are in terms of the linear timeline that we've created. Like, it's never too late. And that's, again, that is like very much so just one of the falsities. Maybe that's the snake from the Five of Swords we were talking about, of like, oh, it's too late for me. Absolutely not. Okay, Spirit really wants me to bring that home for you. Literally, we got this card, the second bloom. Okay, so let's read this. Just give me a second here. I'm in full channel mode. All right, the second bloom. Beautiful. It's on page 122. So 122, 122, 22 could be a number for you, an angel number. Okay, let's go to that. Okay, I'm gonna actually pull this up so we can look at it. All right, give me 1 second. If you hear my timer, I'm just turning that off. Because again, we don't even need that's another, like, again, message from Spirit. Like, you're not out of time. You're never out of time. Like, that's an illusion. You don't have to worry about it. Again, the second bloom, it's never too late, okay? So let's read this. This is a card of second chances, new beginnings, regeneration, and reinventing yourself. I mean, we literally had that with this leaves card. It said renewal, revival, all that stuff, okay? It's never too late to surrender to what's blooming within you. All that matters is that you surrender to the buds that are longing to grow and be known. No matter your age, oh my gosh, man, I'm good at this. Okay, no matter your age or what may have previously occurred, this card isn't, right? You can be too. That's what I'm saying. Like, you get to align with your pentacle, your pentagram here, like your gift. Like, it is not too late. It is never too late, okay? It does not matter your age or what may have previously occurred. This card is an invitation to surrender to a second bloom, to welcome the new and share it with the world, to acknowledge the secret passions, longings, creations, and yearnings, and let them bud and bloom. If we properly allow things to end, new beginnings will always come. If we surrender to the cycles of life, after winter, spring will always return. If we tend the seeds in the fertile earth, they'll eventually emerge. Didn't I say that about you? I literally said that. Just as we, like that soil, composted soil, just as we think the seasons are over and winter's drawing near, some roses bless us with an unexpected second bloom. Oh my gosh, this card is so perfect. I have chills. I have goosebumps right now. If this card appears in a spread, it's a likely sign that you too are set for a second bloom. Perhaps you have a creation that's waiting to be brought forth, or maybe it's a new relationship or passion in your life. Maybe what's waiting to be born is a new version of you. The more we are open to change, the more open we are to life. The more open we are to life, the more open we are to being born again anew. Yes, this is what it means to truly live. Being open to saying yes to life. So when you eventually take your last breath, you'll do so while still fully living. And the soul inquiry is, what unexpected thing wants to bloom within you? Yeah. And I said that it's going to be unexpected. It's going to be a surprise to you, but there is something waiting to bloom within you with that pentagram that I mentioned. It's waiting for you. This potion is brewing up, and that is you. That is your soul, ready to brew and alchemize and create something that's just absolutely, delightfully, deliciously magical. All right, pile 1, this was an absolute pleasure to do this reading for you. Maybe I'll see you in one of the other piles, but if not, I'll see you at the next reading. Thanks, bye for now. Hey, pile 2, welcome to you. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna dive right in to your topic today, which is around health. Now, like I said in the intro, I don't know what domain of health this relates to. This just feels like overall health right now. We should get more here in a bit, okay? But yeah, this is our theme for the reading. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna move this up just a little bit here, and let's move into what's going well with your health. So what's going well that Spirit wants to either, congratulate you on or give you kudos for. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Health. Yeah, there's a lot coming through with this. So I feel like this is going to have to be pretty open-ended, because I'm sensing there's a lot of different health things coming through. I'm definitely catching body, maybe dieting. I'm definitely catching mental health as a part of this. I'm catching medical health is definitely another part. So yeah, okay. So this feels pretty open-ended. So let's see where this goes. And give me one moment. They're having me cut the deck. Okay, but what's going well, Spirit, for pile 2 with their health and with this topic? Well, and we'll do this before we get into sort of the future predictive timeline bit, okay? What's going well for pile 2? There's another energy here of maybe someone going to school, doing higher education for health. So that could be, again, for mental health. It could be for naturopathic. It could be medical doctor, but I'm getting that sense too. So there's something there, some kudos there for sure. Some maybe congratulations in order. Okay, they're giving me the 8 of Swords in reverse. One moment here. Okay. So these are the 2 cards for what's going well. I mean, I really like this energy. Yeah, it's like this feels solid. There's something here. So let me just break these down, and then we're gonna pull it together, because it feels a little like we've got to do it that way. So the 8 of Swords, upright, typically speaks to limiting beliefs or constrictions or ways in which you may be feeling trapped or feeling caged in, could be another way to describe that, or bound to something. In reverse, it's speaking to, I don't know, there's this energy of just I don't know, the phrase is coming through is going after it. So going after whatever the thing is that, again, it could be the education bit like I was talking about, doesn't have to be. This could be pursuing some element of your health. And I think there's a lot of encouragement here of bettering your health, and that feels really, really good here, whether it's through education or through, like I said, your own body, physical, emotional, spiritual health. That feels really good. I'm definitely sensing all of that, because that's what the 4 of Pentacles is coming through to say. This card traditionally speaks to in the Rider-Waite-Smith version, or deck of this, like there's usually a person sitting in like a throne or a chair that has like a pinnacle on their head, a pinnacle on their chest, and two pinnacles at their feet. So I am seeing that visual right now. And I like that because, like I said, I feel like this health energy is really speaking to all those different dimensions. Like the head pinnacle would be like spirit, speaking to like heart would be maybe more of like the body health. It could be with the two pinnacles on the ground, it could be like financial health. This could be education, like I said. So it definitely feels like this health is touching on a couple different domains in different areas. So that feels really, really good. And like I said, I feel like what's going well for you is that there is some sort of like pursuing energy, like you are pursuing something for whatever dimension of your health that this is referring to for you. So that feels really, really good. There's something like grounded about that energy. I don't know, the Four of Pentacles is coming through as really grounded. Like it's like something you're like working toward. That's not quite the energy. Hold on. Not quite working towards, but like there's a certain like stable focus to going after this thing. Even if like, let's say it doesn't feel like it, I don't know, Spirit is definitely coming through to say, like, you could be in the middle of this health journey, whatever it is, education journey, and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. But like, there's something about like your focus that Spirit really wants you to retain and to keep, because I think it's serving you well, and it'll serve you well in both of the timelines we're going to look at in just a moment here. Okay, yes. So that's the energy there. Anything else in the Spirit? Okay, they're saying no. All right, they really want to get into it. So let's go. I'm just going to actually move this up and move these up a little bit here just for now, just so we can build out, and we can do that right here, okay? All right, but that was what was going well about your health. Do I want that way? No, I want it this way. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's do this. All right, Spirit. So can you tell us more about the current timeline for pile 2 and this trajectory with their health? Okay, they're having me pick an oracle card, so give me just one moment. Yeah, there is something like, something a little unsure about this energy. I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? I don't know. No, that's not quite right. There's something like unsure. Let me see here. All right, let me cut the deck. 1 second. It feels a little cloudy. Like I can't. There's no other way to describe that. That's what it feels like. Okay. Okay. Give me one moment. Let me see if they want. Do you want another one? Okay, so that's it on that. Okay, so let's look at this one. It says broom, energy clearing, and freshening. Yeah, like I said, it feels like there's something cloudy, and we need to like you're like needing to like move it away. At the same time, there's something about this energy that feels really. The other word I'm getting is energizing about it. Okay, yes. So it's that. Okay, so it's that. So I feel like there's 2 threads happening here. There's one thread of like whatever you're doing, it feels like it's, like I said, energizing for you. That's the word that's coming through with the broom card. It's energizing. I'm almost seeing the like energy of sweeping. Like the sweeping motion. It's almost like you're kind of happily like singing a song right now and just sweeping and you know, like again, there's just sort of this like cleaning to like clear, how do I say that? Okay. Almost as if there were like a layer of dirt on the ground And I'm getting like Snow White vibes right now. I don't know why. I'm like seeing you in this like cabin, whistle while you work. Like it's so interesting. And you're like clearing out the little cabin like Snow White does. And you know how it clears it? Like you're seeing the dust go everywhere and there's like little birds chirping around and like, and then like Snow White like clear stuff and it's like suddenly shiny and new and bright and like you can see it. It's almost like that. It's like you're uncovering something. You're uncovering something. That's so interesting. Can we keep going, Spirit? Okay, they want me to keep going. Okay. This is cool. Let's see. I like that whistle while you work vibe. What is pile 2 clearing? What is energizing? What is clearing? King of Wands, love that energy. That's nice. Six of Cups, okay. Okay, let me just check that these are all upright. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so they're showing me a bit of there's like glimpses coming through. Like I said, I feel like I'm kind of like trying to read through dust right now that you're like sweeping up. So give me a second. There is this energy. I really like the King of Wands. I don't know why, but this energy is coming through like really assured, and it feels like on kind of the outside and to everyone else, this looks like a very like I'm seeing hold on, these almost look like little plants coming off this like wand. I don't know if you see that. Yeah, but there's something here that's like very the word that's coming through is like prosperous. It looks like you're like prospering, okay, to maybe like the outside world, and like in your studies or in like your health journey or whatever it is that you're working on. There's this air of like kind of that, but it's a little deeper than that. Hold on. Oh, this is interesting energy. Yeah, there's something about this that like ends up giving you confidence, and you may not feel that right now. Like I'm getting the sense that some of this feels confusing. Okay, like I said, that's the other like thread that's coming through. It feels like some of it's confusing. You're probably like, I don't know where all this leads. I don't know how this like ends up with me in a King of Wands, but it does. It does feel like you get to this King of Wands energy, and like almost like whatever you're going through right now, like kind of builds to this like version of yourself that at least on the outside looks aligned, feels aligned, looks prosperous, looks like it's like a growth journey for you. And I really do like that. So like I said, it depends on where you are in this like timeline. I am reading for the future, so it does seem like you're like getting into some of this energy with where you're going. Like again, it's almost like you're sweeping off something, maybe about a like passion that you had that like you put on the back burner, or moving more into alignment with like your health and what feels good for your body. Yeah, okay, so let's look at that, because the cups is coming through as your body. Like the cups really do represent like the body in so many ways, like internal, the body, like the water element, just because we're made of so much water, it's very body. Yeah, it does feel like kind of like how the kids look like in this card. There's something here that feels really there's just like a fresh energy. I talked about there being like an energized type of energy, but it feels like there's something that gives you fresh energy moving forward, which feels really nice. Okay, there's another layer to this card that I need to go into because it's related to this Nine of Wands here. Okay, let me write that down. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here, because we have to like, there's like a couple different, I'm almost seeing it as like two parallel threads happening at the same time in the same timeline. There's like an element, like I said, of the dust. It's almost like when you sweep the dust coming up and the dust in the air, and you don't really know, you know, what the final picture is going to look like. That's kind of what's coming through. So I'm seeing the dust and like sort of, there's a little bit of like confusion, like fogginess. There's also this like I said, something that's really clearly will be coming into view around like the journey you've been through, the success, or like what you've been through that has kind of added to this feeling or appearance of confidence, at least to those outside of you. And there is a sense of almost feeling it internal too. I am catching some of the Queen of Wands here. So that does feel good. And maybe it is that you're energized for your health, you know? Maybe that's what it is. Like, you're just energized for health purposes. Like, either you have to be or you want to be, right? This could be something that you've been prompted to like focus on, or maybe it's something that you had as a goal for a while, and it just feels like you're like moving towards that in some aspect. Okay, and it doesn't mean you're going towards this without resistance. Okay, yes, that's right. That's right. Okay, you're working towards it, but there are definitely like obstacles coming up. So that's what the Nine of, or will be coming up. Like, that's what the Nine of Wands is here to say. Like, it almost feels like with this Nine of Wands, like something's popping up, like another thing's popping up, like another wand here. And it's just kind of like, you're like, I'm going to keep like going and almost like battling it out with my one wand I'm holding. But like, you know, it just feels like there are like obstacles and barriers and challenges that are coming up. But on the other side of this, it feels like you reach the King of Wands energy. Yeah. That is so interesting. Okay, there's another element coming through I need to find. It is with the Six of Cups. There is something, because this card speaks to like the past, and it is ancestral, but it does speak to like youth and childhood. So this could have been something that either started in childhood, across the board. So whether it was like you had this as a goal for a while, or again, whether you wanted to or not, it just feels like something that stemmed from the past. Okay, I am catching for someone, and I'm gonna say it because it's the energy coming through. It feels like this may have been like a childhood health issue for someone that you've been either navigating or working through, and you end up having a new and fresh sense of energy to go after it or tackle it. There is an energy here, another energy here of something from childhood being unhealthy. Around like, maybe, I know I mentioned like diet stuff, but it feels like diet and like weight things. Like, it just, there's an element here that doesn't feel doesn't feel exactly like, it does not feel healthy. I'm seeing the girl on this person now. Like, it looks like a girl. So, okay, yeah, there's a couple threads happening. Okay. So I feel like I opened this part with that. Like, I already sensed that you all had like a lot of different, this health element was pretty open-ended, but like I said, there is this energy here of, for someone, if this is about education, it feels like you're like going after it. It feels like this was a dream or maybe a goal you had from childhood. Maybe you had been told when you were younger, like, this isn't something you can pursue, or there's like a stubbornness to this Nine of Wands within that topic stream. Okay. So it almost feels like you're like, no, I'm gripping and holding on to this for dear life, because, you know, there's almost like a rebelliousness to this. So like, I'm getting to my King of Wands with this because you're not going to tell me how I can live my life. Okay. So I am sensing that if this is about like health education, or, you know, if you're going to school for health of some dimension. Okay. There's another thread here of, like I said, someone working towards, and maybe there are ongoing like health issues, or health, if it is about health issues, okay, I'll address that next. It feels like you're running into a series of challenges that keep coming up and keep kind of like blocking you from this King of Wands energy that you fully want to have. It feels like you keep trying to like re-energize yourself back into continuing with this health journey, although it feels, and I'm seeing the Eight of Swords like upright, it feels like it's still like cycling, or there's not really a ton of progress. I'm seeing the swords, like I said, Eight of Swords upright with that version of this reading. So I see that. I do see that for you. I think there's definitely some encouragement that Spirit wants to give about that. So I am interested to see what that looks like when we get into the next part here. Okay, there is another thread here around, I talked around, I didn't mention it, but I will mention it, mental health. So if mental health is your thread, it feels like you're kind of like what's being dusted up, that's how I should say it, what's being dusted up or coming up is the experiences you've had in the past that are keeping you stuck, Eight of Swords upright, and keeping you blocked from, it feels like this King of Wands. It keeps coming back to this King of Wands. So it feels like you're working through it, maybe, or not, but it feels like something is like, being brought up from your childhood that I think you're still holding on to with this Knight of Wands. And it feels like there's like some healing needed for that. Do you want to see more on that, Spirit? Yeah, High Priestess. I feel like there's like a healer or healing that's needed. And this, I know this card isn't that specifically, but it's coming through as like a healer. Like, I'm not talking about, it's actually coming through for a couple cards, but for a couple of the kind of dimensions I've already talked about. But this feels like a healer, like a almost like a spiritual healer. That's why I'm talking about it this way. It doesn't feel like, I don't know how else to say this, but it doesn't feel like a medical doctor, or even like necessarily like a PhD something, or go see like a, psychiatrist. I'm hearing it feels like you need something like, I feel like what you're trying to get to can't be unearthed through whatever means you're trying right now, okay, or the ones that you'll try in the future if you continue to work within the systems that be. Yeah, they're showing me the devil. They're showing me the devil card. Okay, if you continue to work within the patriarchy and work within like the systems that be, it feels like there isn't a lot of progress, and you still end up in this Knight of Wands energy. Okay, there's one last kind of thread I want to run through here. 1 second. There is one around like body. Again, I talked about like body size, body weight, body health. If that's your journey here and you're here not in the like healthy way, this feels like there's something still stuck in the past around like the ways you have to, I'm seeing the devil card again, because again, that card speaks to like long-term, I'm just going to pull out that card. Maybe I'll just pull it out. I don't know. I'll just put it up here. It's like a footnote. Okay. It's like a footnote. So let's move that in view. It's like a footnote, but for a couple of this is what it feels like. It kind of feels like it's like, so, like I said, the devil speaks to things that are long-term, unhealthy in this instance, unhealthy body perspectives, or perspectives, or thinkings, or paradigms, or schemas on body. And so I feel like if that's the case, there's something really deep in your childhood that got you kind of like looping and trapped into this energy of like, I have to be a certain, again, the girdle's coming through really strongly again, but I have to be this certain size and certain weight in order to, be seen as acceptable, or be seen as someone who is attractive, or someone, and I think you can expect more of that. This doesn't feel totally healthy. I mean, the devil came out to say that. So, okay. Okay, so I just feel like you're going to continue to have these blocks and barriers. If that's the angle that you're watching this for, you're going to continue to have these blocks and barriers because like this, we really want to like break this cycle or get into the deeper like wounding here. This is the encouragement from spirit, part of like what changes you need to make here, but get into the deeper wounding that led you to believe that you're not beautiful the way you are. Because you are beautiful exactly as you are, and you know, wanting to do things for your health, for your body, you know, and just how your body feels and what makes it feel good is very different than doing it for, you know, if it's for like fueling sexism, or if it's fueling the patriarchy, or if it's fueling like white supremacy, or you know, of the image of like what white bodies look like, or how all bodies should look like that. And so I feel like there's like some sort of like breakaway that's needed with that energy, some clearing, some freshening, some unearthing and healing, if that's where you're at currently. Okay, that was a lot. I didn't expect so many different like health angles to come up here, but I hope I covered like a good portion of them. If not, hopefully whatever you're working through right now, one of those resonates with you. Okay, we're gonna move into what changes. Okay, and I started speaking to some of those because this is the future trajectory. Like, it's just gonna keep, like I said, like just, you know, I talked about this some, but there is an energy of like repetition for a few of those that doesn't feel particularly like good, and I don't think you're gonna want to continue that into the future. So it just doesn't feel like it kind of leaves you in this like hell space that again, the devil, that you don't need to be in. Okay, so we really want to get you out of that. But let's see what changes are needed. Spirit, what card? This pile. Okay. And let me see here, because I'm going to pull these cards, but I want to see where I'm going to place them. Okay, I'm going to actually pile these together as one timeline. I mean, again, like 6 timelines off the same cards, but they're all related to health. So hopefully we can pull those in, and I'll pull those back out as we need them for this reading. Okay, and I'm just going to pull some more cards here. All right, Spirit. So what changes, if any, do you want? Well, I know you definitely want some changes made here. But what changes does pile 2 need to make on their health journey? Wherever they are, whatever dimension, angle, space they're in. Okay, they're having me cut the deck. Yeah, that devil came out super strong. So, yeah, I mean, you can just continue to expect that with no changes. But let's talk about the changes. Okay, what changes do you want pile 2 to make, or are you recommending pile 2 makes, Spirit? Okay. 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 All right. Let's see if we can get all these in your view. Not quite. Let me move this over. Give me 1 second. Okay. Is that all? Wow. No joke. Okay. There's a lot of energy. Okay, so I'm just gonna like say this kind of simply. Okay, pile 2, there are some changes that need to be made here. I'm sure that's coming through with these cards, even just some of the initial imagery we have. The other card we have is the 10 of Swords, okay, upright. Okay, so yeah, I just I feel like there's some changes that are needed here. Okay, some pretty big shifts, and I think you know that because again, the energy or the broom card came through. So like I feel like you're already in this element of change somehow. And again, depending on where you are in this like future timeline, like some of you may be a little further along or more at the beginning, but it definitely feels like I said, there's some energy coming into this. And I think Spirit wants you to like focus this energy to make these changes, like focus that energy on making these changes. Like, so the birds are singing and you're Snow White and whistle while you work and all of that. Like, depending on what changes are needed. Like I said, if I read this for you and it seemed like pretty okay, that's fine. But I'm still sensing, no matter what dimension of health this is, there's definitely like some either there's some significant like internal changes that are needed here just to create the shift that's necessary for you to see like a better outcome. So, or to further align to get to this King of Wands energy, King of Wands, Queen of Wands. Okay. So I'm seeing both in my mind's eye. So the Page of Swords in reverse, I think there's an energy here with the Page of Swords in reverse of not being too like stuck to and rigid about something. So if that looks like I said, this is trying to say like, be open-minded is the way this is coming through, of like, be open-minded to different changes, because there's definitely some changes that are needed here. And whatever it is that has been like repeating, it seems like, again, there is some repetition coming through with that Six of Cups. Whatever's being repeated, I feel like there's something that needs to be reworked is the word that's coming through. It needs to be reworked. So, okay, let's get into that. I'm just going to give us kind of the top layer of this. The Lovers in reverse is coming out to say, okay, so this is coming out to say in reverse, like there is a misalignment. And that could be a misalignment if you're seeing certain like doctors or seeing certain like practitioners. Like it feels like there's a misalignment, okay? And so Spirit, I think, wants you to maybe look elsewhere if like what you're needing, what outcomes you're looking for like aren't happening. Like I said, they're coming back to, I didn't pull out the card. I wish I had now, but they're showing me the High Priestess card again. Okay, so again, maybe look to other different or other healing forms. So that, or again, different healers or whatever it may be, but it feels, this is coming through as a misalignment. Okay. I'm going to be this is a very specific message. This is not for everyone. For someone, this is coming through as the Lovers and like the Tower. So Spirit is trying to say like, I don't know if there's like a partner or partners you have, this is romantic, or a connection, but there is something here that feels unhealthy of like, I feel like someone's either steering you in the wrong direction. I don't know why I'm seeing you now on a ship and being steered. Okay, of like turning the steering wheel? I don't know, is that whatever. I don't know that that's what that's called, but they're turning that wheel you always see in like Pirates of the Caribbean or something, right? Like, I don't know. Steering the ship. Like, I feel like you're being steered in the wrong direction, and I feel like there is an element here that's unhealthy, especially if this is related to body image stuff. Like, I don't know. It feels like there is some undue pressure around needing to be a certain way in romantic connections or look a certain way, and Spirit is trying to tell you like, no. Like, anyone who is meant to be in your life and in that capacity will love you exactly the way you are, exactly as your body is. No changes needed right now. Like, and whatever ways that you decide to evolve for your health, and that feels good, right? But not for any sort of like aesthetic, like, again, this feels like sexism, but feels like, you know, that alignment to the patriarchy that like Spirit is like, no. Okay, and Spirit's also directing a Tower here. Okay, so that is definitely for whoever that is for, that part of the message. Like, Spirit is trying to direct you towards this Tower and the Ten of Swords and the Four of Cups. Like, Spirit is like that this isn't healthy. Okay, they're showing me the devil again. Okay, so aside from that, the Tower is coming through for everyone here to say there is like some sort of shakeup, some shift that's needed. They're also showing me the Hangman in my mind's eye. So again, there is some sort of, whether it's perspective shift or some sort of, this feels like an internal shift. Let me be very clear. This feels like an internal shift that's needed. because everything on your outside is just a reflection of your inside. So there's some sort of internal shift that's needed. And I don't know for some of you if it really just means you need to grieve something from the past. And that's the Four of Cups. And I think that will like unblock this energy for you. Again, kick up this energy for you to actually uncover the real gold, the beautiful sanded wooden floors that are sparkly and shiny, the beautiful plates, and you know, I don't know, whatever else is in Snow White's cabin, like right? Like I feel like Spirit wants you to feel your feelings on this, because there's something that feels stuck. They're showing me the Nine of Wands here. There's something that's stuck, some energy that's stuck from the past, Six of Cups, that hasn't been moved, and so it's keeping you just slightly off balance, off. There's like something off here, okay? So I think Spirit really is encouraging you to look at what caused that Ten of Swords. And again, they're linking this for me in my mind's eye to the Nine of Wands and to the Six of Cups here. But like, it feels like there's something in the past that caused pain and kept you kind of in this like energy of either like stubbornness or holding on to something, or stuck, or unable to like progress in some way. That's the phrase and word I'm hearing. Okay, Spirit, do you have anything else to say about this? I mean, this feels like a shift. Yeah. Okay, and they keep coming back to this High Priestess, but there's really a need here. I don't know why I have to keep saying this, but there's really a need for you to look elsewhere for whatever part of your health journey you're on right now. And even if that is body image stuff, that may look like getting like someone who's a nutritionist, or someone who like supports folks in like liberating themselves from like unhealthy body image. I don't know, I'm just channeling this, okay? And I'm seeing 555 on the clock right now, so you may want to look that up, 555. Okay, I may want to look that up. Spirit wants me to look that up. Okay, Spirit, I'll do that. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna pull up whatever the first thing is that comes up when I Google it. So 555. I don't know if I typed that right. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. So here's part of what's coming up. Okay. So 555 can symbolize a time of transition, freedom, and independence. Yep, it can also indicate that changes are coming to your relationship and career. Okay, let me look at this a little differently. Hold on. This isn't quite it. Okay, angel number 555 signifies change, transformation, and personal growth. When you encounter this number, it is a sign from the universe that a significant shift, did I just say that, is about to occur in your life. Embrace the opportunities, I said that, be open-minded, that come with change. Reflect on your relationships and career. I said your education path, if that's you, and step out of your comfort zone. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, that's right. So, yeah, there's change that's coming, okay? Spirit wants you to like step into and embrace this element of change, and that started even when we were talking about this broom energy, okay? And like even the Eight of Swords in reverse, when we're talking about what's going well, there's this energy of you like breaking free. There's like a freedom energy, because that's really what the Eight of Swords speaks to, is like unbinding yourself from limiting beliefs, okay, or from limitations. And the Four of Pentacles is just such like a beautiful card, because it marries the elements between spirit, the body, and the earth, okay? Okay, so we have all that, and I have this Ten of Swords, but it's a footnote, so I'm just going to leave it on the side here. Spirit, I want to move into what happens if pile 2 makes these changes. Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm realizing these weren't all on your screen. So sorry. Like they weren't in your view. Let's see if we can get all those. When I get in the channel, I just get in the channel. All right, let's look at this. So what happens, I'll just pull a card or two. What happens if pile 2 makes these changes? Okay. It seems like a significant shift Again, we got the Tower card. So what would the timeline look like if these changes come to pass, Spirit? Okay, 1 second here. Cutting the deck. Okay, so I was just able to take a full deep breath there. There's something that feels like a deep breath, like almost like your lungs are able to expand, or like there's like an expansion or something. Yeah. Okay. Spirit, what's the outcome if these changes happen? Ah, I love it. Ace of Wands, Judgment. Ah, this feels really good. Do you have something else, Spirit? Okay. That's good. Anything else? Okay, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yes. Okay, here it is. So let me show you the timeline. We got a lot of cards here, okay? So I'm gonna go through each of these. So let's go through the first one. The first is the Ace of Wands. It just feels like there's this energy here of you stepping into, didn't I say that? The King of Wands, the Ace of Wands. Look, do you see the leaves on this too? It feels like growth. It just feels like growth. It feels like you feel more aligned here, and you align with this King of Wands energy, like Queen of Wands energy that I've been talking about. It's like you have this like new staff of power almost. You feel empowered in some sense, and I feel like you almost get a power up from Spirit too. I'm seeing this as Spirit like handing you this wand as well. It feels fresh and new and re-energized and sparkly. I'm seeing all this they're showing me the animation of it sparkling now. Like that's really, really cool. Oh, I love that energy. Okay. And then this Judgment card, it feels like very stable and solid. There's something in you. And I'm really speaking to this like within you. There's something within you that feels really solid and stable. Like you're able to like, yes, part of it is inspire other people. Like I'm seeing almost you with like this megaphone now and like inspiring others with this journey you've been through. Okay, so I am seeing that, but I'm also, this feels solid in a way I'm trying to describe, but it's almost like you feel sure of yourself, that you know which choices align with you and which don't. Okay, yes, oh my gosh, that feels so good. I am in love with this energy, and you're moving, yes, you're moving away. This person's like walking away, moving away from anything. Sorry, turn off my timer here. It just went off. I love it. That's confirmation that this is right. But you're moving away from anything that doesn't, I'm hearing like make you feel good is part of it. But I feel like the choices start becoming obvious to you of like, let me move towards my Ace of Wands and my King of Wands versus these empty cups here that can't fulfill me, or that don't fill me up, or that aren't helping me, or aren't helping my health journey, or helping my body, mind, spirit, okay, whatever dimension this belongs to. So it almost feels like there's sort of a like confidence to this person as I'm seeing them here. It's mirroring the King of Wands energy, and here's that wand here. It's just like, no, I like know myself, and I know this is gonna work for me, or this doesn't work for me, or like I'm gonna move away from these things that, like I said, the word that just keeps coming through is like doesn't make me feel good. Good, that's awesome. And then we have this Nine of Pentacles. We talked about it within the kind of 555 angel number, but this is literally the card of independence. Like this is you stepping into, like I said, there's a real solidity here of you just like knowing yourself. It's giving very Wands energy, like very King of Wands, Queen of Wands energy. Like you just like know yourself here, okay? And look, you got the sunglasses on. Like you're cool. You're just like, you're like, I know my body, the pentacles. I know like my heart. I know my spirit, the stars. I know who I am, and I know what I need. And I just like, I love how this person, like I'm seeing them almost like I said, that girdle's been like thrown away, and this person's just like, I'm feeling good. My body feels good. Through whatever health journey, and again, this could be about mental health, it could be about anything, right? But there's an element of feeling really good here. And almost, I need to loop back around because this cups is almost coming through as like whatever disappointment, or the ten of swords is coming in, whatever like pain that happened in the past, you're like moving away from it somehow, okay? And maybe healing it through like grieving it and or transmuting it into this feels really, really like abundant, precipice of abundance. I'm catching this energy as well as the Empress. That was what was coming out. And then it just feels like things like balance out. There's some sort of like balancing that happens, like the world rights itself somehow, of like all the things you've been through. I am seeing this Judgment card again. It's almost like you're able to like tell others or teach others of like, here's what I've been through, here's what's not to do, here's what you know worked for me. There's almost some sort of like hero's journey, hero story out of this. That feels really, really lovely. It's like you've overcome something here, and it's just, it feels monumental for your timeline. I mean, this is a totally different timeline than what we were looking at over here with the Devil. That's totally different. It's like, here's justice. Like, here's the balance. Here's like you feeling like as sure as this person looks, sitting on this like pedestal. Okay? Beautiful. I love that energy for you. Okay, so I'm just gonna set this like here. So that's your other timeline, assuming you make these changes. Spirit, do we want to end with an oracle card? Okay, so we're going to close out this reading with an oracle card. I hope this was helpful. There is a lot of health here, and I'm really glad I got to like channel that, and I hope this resonated with you. It feels like you make the internal shift, assuming you make that internal shift, like this timeline changes up completely. I almost feel like you come into like a the word that's coming through is resolution. Okay, so I don't know what that fully means, like apply it to your situation, but it feels like resolution energy, that with this Justice card. Okay, here we go. So Spirit, last card for us for pile 2, what do you have to say? I love it. Okay, so we have the crowning. Oh, that's so funny. They wanted me to pull this one, the rose thread as well. So it says inner call, soul led, the mystic. I was talking about the high priestess, but again, this spirit, this like energy keeps coming through of the high priestess. So again, reassess either your healers or whatever that is. It just feels like there's a need for you to like either step into healing, like really healing outside of the system. It feels like, yeah, there's some sort of mystic journey here. Ooh, okay. Spirit, which card do you want me to read? And then we have this one that says the crowning, initiation, thresholds, birth, rebirth, a seat at the table. That it feels like you're in an initiation with this. Like if you go through this, like again, change the inner changes that are needed with the Tower card. Like you're at the threshold of that. Okay, let me see. Hold on one second. Let me see what Spirit wants to read here. Which one do you want to read, Spirit? Okay, they said the crowning. Okay, so we're going to read that one. All right, give me a second. I'm going to pull it up in the guidebook here. Okay, yeah, and it feels like you're in some sort of like void space, fertile void space right now. That's jumping out to me on this page, the fertile void. So interesting, which is typically like they talk about it, that being the winter before spring. Okay, so let's see the crowning. It's page 74. Okay, the crowning. There comes a time when the flower knows that it can no longer remain in the protective constraints of the bud. Somehow it needs to trust in the birthing energy and surrender to the unknown of the bloom. The same birthing energy exists within all of nature and in birth, both physical and metaphorical. It's an initiation for the mother as well as the child, who transitions from the water world of the womb to a whole new one on earth. This is a card of crossing thresholds and walking through the gates of initiation, which requires great courage and faith. There are rolling contractions, and it's almost always not straightforward. As we transition from one thing to another, we're called to burst through the constraints of the seed and then the certainty of the bud so that something new can bloom from within. We're always birthing something, and deep inside, we know that the only way to surrender to the initiation is to surrender to the innate power within. This power is inner, but it's also connected with the intelligence that exists within all of life. It's the same energy that tells flowers when to bloom, and it was present when you grew in your mother's womb. Trust in that. It will carry you through. Surrender to what's wanted to be born through you. Life is always trying to initiate us into even more of who we truly are. And the soul inquiry is, how is life trying to initiate you? Yeah, I love that. This absolutely feels like an initiation process. Like that feels really attuned. And there's something around this, like I said, 8 of Swords, like you moving into this like breaking free energy that's kind of representative of the birth process, right? Of like into something new. And so I hope you embrace this part of the journey and know that like spirit understands all that you're going through right now, like sees it, knows it, hears it, and is supporting you. And it is possible for you to step into a new timeline with kind of a breakdown of maybe some old paradigms or some things that maybe haven't worked for you, okay, or aren't working. So spirit wants you to know like there is fresh energy and new support coming from spirit, new winds available is what I'm hearing for you to kind of sweep into this new energy, into this new timeline. Again, I don't sense that it's going to be easy necessarily, but I think coming out of it, it's going to make your journey so much richer. And I feel like you end up in this place, this 9 of Pentacles and justice energy that just feels so incredibly balanced and whole and healthy. Okay. All right, pile 2. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope this was helpful for you. And I'd like to thank Spirit for this reading as well today. But thanks for joining, and I will see you at another pile or at your next reading. Okay, see you soon. Hey, pile 3. Welcome to ya. All right, so I'm excited to get started. Your topic for today is coming out, letting in, and again, this is speaking to the LGBTQIA and Two-Spirit like process of like coming out, of letting in, as Karamo calls it, of like, the other thing that's coming through is like, admitting to yourself that you're queer or somewhere on the spectrum. Okay, so that's, I'm probably going to refer to it that way today, of like queerness or somewhere on the spectrum. So again, if this is related to like asexuality, if you're aromantic, if it's, you know, something to do with that, or you know, no matter like which letter, right, or identity you are within the queer spectrum, like that's all applies here. Okay. So I'm excited for this. Like I'm obviously, if you haven't read the description from my YouTube page or on my website, like I am queer myself. I identify as queer, so I am you know, queer, I am transgender, I am actually I'm gray ace as well. So there's, when I like laugh and tell folks like I'm like many of the parts of the LGBTQIA all like apply to me. So I'm like, yep, that's me. So I'm here and very excited to get to talk with like members of my community. I absolutely love being queer, so that may come up today. Like it's my freaking favorite thing. It's the best. So yeah, so we're gonna do that today. I'm excited to dive into this. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about what's going well for you. I guess, you know, moving into this like future timeline. So let's look at that. Spirit, where do you want to go with that one? Okay. All right, so what's going well for you? Well, I think part of this is like kudos. Like if, it depends on where you are in terms of your kind of coming out, letting in process. But I definitely think there are some kudos here in terms of like connecting with your authentic self is a big piece of that. Even if it's just like admitting to yourself, like, yes, that's probably me. Even if the full like outwards process hasn't happened yet, like that internal process is just so incredibly key. So I'm definitely sensing some kudos here with that. Give me one moment here, I have to cut this deck. I mean, it's really big to come into liberation because if nothing else, like LGBTQIA is about liberation. Okay, it is the definition of like liberation in so many senses, in so many ways. It is like love itself, and love is love, and loving yourself, most importantly, more so than anything else. So beautiful. So let's talk about what's going well, Spirit. What's going well for pile 3? What is going well for pile 3, Spirit? Hold on one second. They're being very particular about this card. Okay. Ooh, I like this energy. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Oh, I love this energy. This is so good. I really, really enjoy this. Okay. Okay. So there's a lot here. I don't know if we'll keep all of these. Okay, so let's see here, because this is like, Spirit is just so excited to talk about this. Like, excited in the way that Spirit can be, which is just basically having a lot to say. So, and there being many messages here. So, this is phenomenal energy. I have to say this. So the 7 of Cups here, the 7 of Cups is coming out to say, like, well, it's coming out. And I love how queer these cards are, because this is my queer inclusive deck. But it's really talking about options. There's like, I think there's a part of like accepting yourself, or if you're going through the process of accepting yourself and wherever you are in the queer spectrum. And I think what that does is there's an element of like liberation here of like, now you have options. Like each of these is seen as like an option. Like you've almost like given yourself, here's what's coming through. Like there's more options in love and more options in abundance and there's more opportunities is coming through as well. Like it feels like this whole new world is kind of opening up for you, and it's just right here at your fingertips. And I think that's really phenomenal, because like this feels like very aligned with you and aligned with almost your energy. It's just, there's something like very like fantasy about this energy, but it's not, is the thing. It's almost the like feeling of when you step into like your like fairy book, or the fairy tale, right? And the fairy tale book is what I was trying to say, but fairy book, interesting. Yeah, there is like a fairy energy here. There's something very like anchored in the 3D now of this like maybe version of yourself or options or openings that are coming for you that like I just don't think maybe you never thought would be possible for you in this life. And there's something here that's just like with these other cards as well coming in to say, well, holy moly, you made it. Or you're making it, or you're doing it. And it's just like, if you're not already in this energy and starting to see this like world open up for you, like this is what you will be in. Okay, so upon this coming out, letting in process, so that seems to be going well. It feels like this message is kind of like blended into one with like what happens in terms of your own internal energy. We're gonna go a little bit deeper, obviously, but there's just so much here that's just going well. And this does feel like a process once you've like accepted for yourself, like this is who I am, then this energy applies, if that makes sense, okay? Okay, and so I actually love these two cards here because I feel like both of these cards in the upright are really like, can be really painful cards, and in reverse, it's just coming through as this like not feeling lonely anymore. There's something around like not feeling almost like isolated from yourself, because this card really speaks to like being out in the cold or outside. You can see there's this window here of this building, or like there's almost like there can be an abandonment element here, but like in the way it's coming through in this reading, it just feels like you're embracing a part of yourself, bringing it in from out of the cold. It feels like you're feeling like less alone. It's almost like, again, I'm seeing these two people, like it's like you're all here together. Again, you have options. Like it feels like this whole new world, and almost as if this rainbow doorway is exactly that. It's like the beautiful like queer doorway into your future, and it's just so freaking bright, and you're coming out of this energy where you were feeling like it's just like on the other side there. I can see it, I can almost reach it, but I'm not there, and I'm just feeling like outside of it, or feeling there's a feeling of like alienation, of like I don't feel like I belong. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. So you are definitely coming into some energy here of feeling like you belong. That's also being like reverberated down here in the Six of Cups. There's almost this energy of like, there's plenty to go around. You see this person, like again, these kids this one kid handing the flowers to another. It's just kind of like, again, there's an energy of just love is love, and like passing on the love, and just like seeing others in this energy who may be further along on this timeline, but like this almost feels like a rite of passage. There's this person here in the background that's coming through as like a queer ancestor or transcestor, or someone, an elder of some sort. It's like an elder energy, and it's like almost like being passed down, like siblings, of like, yeah, sis, I'm passing it down. Like, it's your turn now, and like that feels real good. So I love this. And maybe this was something also, because this card also speaks to the past. Maybe this is something like you only dreamed of when you were younger, of like being able to be this free and this liberated. And again, the other, more rainbows, right? Because there's rainbows in all these cards. It's a queer deck, but I love it. It's just so freaking gay, and I love it. I'm like, this energy feels so good. It's full of flowers and rainbows and unicorns and sparkles, and it's just really, really lovely. So I like this Ten of Swords in reverse a lot, because it feels like this card is coming through and upright as like almost like self-torture. Okay, so like it was almost like you were, and I say this in a very like metaphorical, subconscious way, okay, like kind of like putting those swords in your own back. And there's something here that you've like liberated yourself from, of like, you know what, I'm just not going to do this anymore. I'm just not going to allow myself to suffer anymore and be something I'm not, or someone I'm not, or some identity I'm not. Like, I'm going to accept this flower, the spiritual flowers here from my queer ancestors, the spirits that be, and I'm going to go forward and see what my options are out here. And it just feels so abundant on the other side. Literally, okay, I just cut to a card. Here it is, Three of Cups. I love this energy, y'all. I am here. So, oh my gosh, this feels so abundant, so celebratory. I think what you can look forward to, and I do, like I said, this does feel like the energy of not only accepting yourself, but then also like moving as your authentic self out into the world. You are going to find others who also are aligned with you, but know that this is coming through on a couple different levels. So if we're speaking into the future, like this is the kind of future trajectory I'm sensing. Even if you're like really early on in this process, maybe like the card before this, where you're like, it's starting to like maybe creep into my awareness that maybe I'm you know, on the queer spectrum. And so I think what you can look forward to is this kind of celebration and celebratory, and like finding others who like connect with you, match with you, who also like understand you, who see you, who know the journey you've been through, that 10 of Swords, like understand what it feels like to be in the cold, but know that it is like so warm and abundant and joyous. There's so much like sun energy here. I'm seeing that at the top, and just celebration for your liberation process, because that's what this is. Definitely. Most definitely. And the other layer of this is your spirit team as well. Your spirit team also celebrating with you, because this does feel like with this like 6 of Cups energy, which I do link to ancestors, this does feel like something you have, like almost like a kind of like a I want to say cycle you've broken, but a little bit. It's almost like you've broken free of a some constriction that had been in place through your lineage, but also through the systems that be, the systems of oppression, like per se, or that others have placed on you or have assumed about you. I'm getting that through really strongly. I'm definitely getting an energy of like someone who mistakes you as straight or something, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, like I can look any way I want. There's no one way to look queer, and you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Okay, so it's just like whatever that constriction, it almost feels like a mesh net that was like placed around you, and it feels like you're like coming out of that somehow. And I think I'm seeing that a little bit from the kind of apparel that this person's wearing on the ground here, but it's almost like, again, you're kind of breaking through this energy. I'm seeing the 8 of Swords in my mind's eye a little bit too, of like limiting beliefs and like breaking out of those as well. So, I mean, I love this trajectory. Okay, this feels like, I almost feel like this happened a little in reverse, like this part. Okay. This feels like what happens if you make these changes. So I feel like we need to go out. I told you, I think I said this in the intro, but I felt like one of the readings was gonna flow a little bit. This one's gonna flow. It makes sense. We're queer. We're here. We're queer. Like, of course it's gonna flow. So let's get in our rainbow mode and like flow with this, because I feel like this is the energy of what happens if you like come out and let this part of yourself in, right? So that definitely feels like resonant to that journey and that energy. So I think I'm gonna move this up here, because this feels like the end result. Okay, I think there's something a little deeper to this we need to get into. I think Spirit wants to talk about the process of coming out a little bit deeper. So let's get into that, because this feels so good. This energy feels so good. Like, I don't have enough words to talk about just how like different this feels for you, and how, again, I keep saying the word liberating, but there's a freedom here. There's a freedom element, especially with this 10 of Swords in reverse, of like, you have taken the swords out of your own back. It's kind of like, it's just kind of like you've released yourself from some burden of being someone you're not, okay, and that you never were. I'm seeing that with the 6 of Cups, okay? So, okay, I'm in love with this reading, but yes, let's do that. So, Spirit, do you want to talk about coming out? Okay, yes, Spirit wants to talk about coming out, because I think there's something here. There's a really strong energy of like someone here starting to move through the process of actually like being open about their identity in the world and how they operate. So again, like the coming out process would be, but we all know that, I mean, maybe we don't know, but let me talk about it a little bit. Yeah, that process isn't like a one and done kind of thing. It's like there's a constant like having to let people in and like be I don't know, clear in who you are, okay? So this isn't like a one and done, but I do feel like for someone, this feels like either like telling your parents or telling your friends or telling like loved ones or even a workplace for someone. So let's get into that, because that's actually the timeline where when we talked about, we're doing this a little out of order, but when we talked about like what your current trajectory is with that, I want to look into the future of your coming out process. So let's look at that. Okay. And I have the interesting part is I have other like note cards that are different for LGBTQIA, for like different topics for this. So this specifically came out, I think, to talk about the coming out process. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that a little bit more here. And hopefully you can also generalize this as well to whatever like you're going through with your process. Whether it's like, you know, you're transitioning, you're gender transitioning, and it's like, you know, starting to kind of make its way into your social world, or wherever it is, right? You're now like ace and asexual, and maybe, you know, that you're starting to like try to navigate that. So lots of good stuff here. Okay, Spirit, let's talk about coming out. What do we need to say here? Okay, give me a second. They're having me switch decks. Okay, coming out. Well, first of all, I just want to say, like, congratulations to you if you're on that precipice. Like, it's a really, it can be hard. That's a word for it. I don't feel like that does justice to it, but it can be really difficult to, like, you know, not know what to expect on the outside when you've come to sort of an alignment within yourself of who you are. Okay, so let's go there. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna take a drink of my water. All right, what do you need to say, Spirit, to the collective about this coming out process? Because this looks bright. Your future looks bright. Should you decide to like fully, this feels like part of your like current energy internally, but it also feels like once you get through this kind of barrier, or I don't say barrier, the hump of coming out itself, like this feels like what's on the other side. Okay, yeah, okay, all right, so let's move. Ready, Spirit? All right, let's talk about coming out a little bit more. What do you want to say about that and that timeline? Okay, we're gonna keep going. Okay. Yep. Do we have one more? Okay, one more. Hold on. Spirit's telling me a lot right now, so bear with me here. Okay. Yeah, I see that. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so they gave us 2 more. Let me get all of these into your view here. I want to make sure you can see this card, but let's see. Make sure these are all in your view. Okay. Is that in there? Can you see that one? Let's see. Move this down a little bit more, because we're going to go through these. I mean, yeah. Okay. This is exactly what, yeah. This feels very like, let me start by saying this. This feels very natural, and maybe in some ways very normal. And I kind of want to take a moment to like normalize this energy. This feels very normal to like a coming out process, okay? So each of these cards, each of these energies feels very normalized, okay? And very normal for this. So let's go through it. I'm going to go through it kind of one by one and break it down here. It's a kind of intense energy, okay? But it's definitely not a bad thing, okay? So let's go through this. So we have the 10 of Wands here. So I think this 10 of Wands is really speaking to the challenges that are going to come up going through this process. Some of this is speaking to, I'm seeing, what are they showing me? Yes, some of the Ten of Swords, some of that, but it's more like, not quite Eight of Swords. There's like one of the Swords cards, it's like a sword energy here of, not knowing what to expect, okay, and not knowing how others are going to react, and there being a very like heavy what if scenario in your mind around that. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of that energy. They're kind of like Spirit's pointing to that Ten of Swords in a way, so that's kind of part of it, is like looping these like thoughts around Ten of Swords upright, not in reverse, but it's kind of like looping around these thoughts of like what if, like worst case scenario, you know, which I don't think the looping is like energy you want to stay in, but I do think it's very good to go into a coming out process very open to what comes up. I think it's also really, really even more important to be very anchored in yourself, like the Star card is saying, like very anchored in yourself and who you are. So no matter what comes up for you, you're feeling like sure of your own decision. And I'm seeing that also with the Seven of Cups here too, like the decision part of it. So I really want to say that and like be very clear on that here, and Spirit wants me to communicate that, because ultimately, like, there's an element here of like being surprised, and especially in a coming out journey. Like I'll just really quickly, because this example is coming up and Spirit wants me to talk about it, but like when I like came out to some of my friends, like I had like a couple of friends who, you know, were religious and, you know, very much so followed the Bible, like Christian, like all of that stuff. And I told them, and I thought, oh, for sure, I'm losing these connections. And it actually surprised me, because some of the folks that I thought like actually would be cool with it and okay with it weren't. And then the ones that like, I thought, you know, so like, I think what I'm trying to communicate here with that story is like, be open to whatever happens here, and just know like it has nothing to do with you. Like ultimately that's about those other people, and that's something they have to work through. But like anyone who is meant for you will love you and accept you exactly the way you are. Okay, no change is necessary, no needing to hide, no needing to like you know, occlude and obstruct different parts of yourself. And no, like anyone who's meant to be in your life will fully embrace and accept and love you exactly the way you are, okay? In all your queerness and all your queer beauty, okay? So I just want to say that. So I only gave that example to say, like, everyone's different. People are different. I mean, again, I went in with my own bias around, like, who would react a certain way, and it turns out that was actually flipped in my head, and I realized I had to do a lot of healing around that, because every person is their own person, and each person has their own like ways that they'll navigate through this, but ultimately that's not mine to hold, okay? And it's not yours either, and I that's really, really what Spirit wants to communicate here. Like they're showing me the holding of the water here. Like the only emotions you need to hold here are your own. You don't need to hold others. So if this means it's like a parent or a family member, like that's on them to process. Like you stand strong in who you are. I know this Chariot is coming through as very like steadfast and focused on a direction here, because the Chariot moves. It's a very like it's a card that moves. So I'm definitely like sensing that there may be like some butting heads. Like I'm seeing like these two horses kind of butting heads. Yes, there may be some conflict here, but ultimately, like again, that doesn't feel like it's yours to hold. And I'm also seeing the holding of these two cups here, as well as the three that are spilled out. Like ultimately, anyone who has any doubts or who has any like issue with who you are authentically, like, again, that's on them to heal and mend their own cups on, not you. Okay, Spirit wants to hand you these shiny new cups, these shiny new 2 cups here. See these 2 cups? Two of cups, the 2 cups here, like, of new connections. Like I said with the three of cups there, like, wants to hand you these like new connections, new experiences, new opportunities to feel good. I mean, it's just that simple, like, to feel good and to feel like held and spiritually held and held emotionally, like, by others and with love and all of those things. Because the 2 of Cups is coming through as a very like loving card right now as well. Okay, because it can be, it speaks to connections, relationships, things like that. Okay, so that's one layer of this. We're gonna go through this. There's a deeper layer that needs to come through, so give me a moment here. Okay, they wanted me to pull, okay. They wanted me to pull this another card quickly. We got the Moon. That makes sense as well. Okay, here's the deeper layer, because the Moon is a very deep card, okay? It's a very deep card. But I feel like just looking at this kind of feeling the energy, feeling what Spirit's channeling, looking at the cards here, it feels like, I mentioned this, but like, I feel like you might be surprised, okay? I feel like there'll be things that'll be coming, you'll be like, I didn't see that coming, or other things you'll be like, wow, I didn't expect that reaction, or things like that. Like, I just, and that's why I said, and I started this out by saying, like, be open, just keep your energy very open, and know and be sure of who you are and like your direction, okay? And who you are and your orientation, if that's the Chariot speaking to the direction. And, you know, I'm surprised we don't have a compass card out. We do. This has a little bit of a compass in the sun back here. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I was like, where am I getting that from? Okay. I mean, I'm just channeling, but I was like, I want to see it on a card. Here it is. Okay. And the star is also speaking to like directions, because it can align to like a inner north star, like an inner guidance system, like things like that. So definitely getting a lot of that. Ooh, this Moon card is so deep. This Moon card is so deep. I feel like there's an energy here of, I'm seeing the 10 of Wands and like, okay, so let's talk about the 10 of Wands for a second, because there's 2 messages that need to come in around this. One, in upright version, it feels like there's some sort of like test here, like maybe even someone will test you, like, are you sure? Or, you know, I don't know. It feels a little bit like, I don't know, how parents would like test you for something, or is that making any sense? I don't know. It feels like one of those like QA tests. I don't know. I'm saying like quality assurance test or stress test or something like that. But like someone being like trying to like poke into your identity and see like, are you sure that's actually it? And I think there's a real message here, like I said, to continue to stay strong with the Star and the Chariot, and the Moon card, to stay strong into like who you actually are. And all of those parts of yourself. Like the Moon card does speaks to like parts work, shadow work, that stuff, but like this isn't even like shadow stuff. This is like beautiful, lovely light stuff. This is speaking to the moon itself when it shines. It's speaking to like the star, the sun. It's speaking to like this brightness within you, this very liberated place and liberated space of you. And so I feel like no matter what kind of like, you know, I'm seeing this kind of like prodding or poking that happens, like Spirit wants you to stay steadfast in who you are. And also I feel like this is an energy you can start to like heal through as well. Yes. I think Spirit wants you to bring this to your healer, if you're working with a healer, or, you know, to anyone you're maybe like connected with that can support you through this journey, which we highly recommend. If you don't have a support system, definitely make sure you build one for yourself here, and that could even just be in an online space, okay? But it feels like maybe bring that sort of like, I'm gonna call it the stress test, if you're really looping these thoughts, like the 10 of Swords. like really bring that to either a healing space or to the communities you're in, like, and just really get the support of others right now. This Three of Cups is coming through so strong, but get the support of others, like, just to know that no matter what, you're going to be okay. And you know, I will affirm that for you. Like, I am definitely someone who, like, I'm not currently in contact with my bio family at all, and like, I can tell you, I am so incredibly happy to be out and queer, and I love my life and I love my chosen family, and I'm just so grateful for that. And so, you know, for me, there were many Ten of Swords. Like I said, I've been through 2 dark nights of the soul. So unfortunately, the last one came with that element of it as I was like gender transitioning. But, you know, I think what I'm trying to say is, like, as someone who's on the other side, like, there's so much like freedom and beauty and joy in this. And so I think just finding others who can like affirm you in that and support you and like understand what you're going through is so incredibly important. Okay. And shameless plug, but I'm also here as well as a healer to support you. So feel free to check out my website if you'd like. Okay. So that's the Ten of Wands. I feel like there's another message in reverse. Yes. Okay. The other message here is like, you're going to feel so much more unburdened. There's an energy here of being like lighter energetically once you are actually like go through this wave, even if it's just the first wave, but like once you start, it just kind of like goes like waves. And I feel like you're just going to be so much lighter once you can get through whatever true colors come out. Like the moon card says, whatever's in the shadow comes to light. Okay. And that means for other people, okay, other connections, 2 of Cups that you have in your life. And so I am sensing there is going to be an element of grief here. Okay. That's what the 5 of Cups is most directly speaking to, is the grief. Like I said, this is normal. This is a very normal process. I mean, I just told you about part of my journey. I lost like a best friend during my journey, like, right? But ultimately what that meant was those people weren't, or at least not currently, meant to be in my life at this moment or through that critical time in my life where I needed to feel supported to become who I was meant to be, okay, and who I am and always have been deep down, okay? So I think there's a real like embrace the grief. And if there's one piece of advice I could give to you, it's don't let this build up, okay? And spirit is having me double down on this now. They're like, there's almost like a push. They're almost like pushing me right now, like, can't talk about this, like, but like, don't let that grief pile up. Like because things are gonna start coming to light. They come to light, okay? They're out from, you know, the shadows into the light, like the moon. And spirit really wants you to grieve whatever connections fall away because of this. There is an element here of connections falling away, but others coming online. So please know, going through this process spiritually, the only thing it does is it clears space for what is actually meant for you. Like, you're going through an energetic frequency like upgrade. And so not everyone can follow you to the next level. Okay. So that does mean, I mean, you're going through such a massive system of oppression and like liberating yourself. So yes, there is going to be 10 of Wands upright, like resistance. However, like I said, you're going to feel so much lighter coming out of this process. Like it looks just like this. It looks just like it goes from this to here. Okay. Like that's actually like how it looks. And so this is like so bright. This is such a bright trajectory for you. Okay. But I think it is about embracing the parts of what's in the underworld, the shadow, what the moon, whatever comes out from the shadow, whatever's howling here, like these wolves or coyotes, I'm hearing. And so, like, it's definitely important to really anchor in yourself. So I want to talk about the Chariot just really briefly here, because the Chariot is speaking to staying strong on your direction and knowing you're being guided by the light of your soul. Like, I'm seeing an soul as an S-O-U-L, as well as the Spanish like S-O-L. Soul and soul, like I'm hearing and seeing both. So that's your energy. It's like your soul energy of the sun. Like that's your your soul is the sun. And so spirit wants you to like move forward and continue forward like the chariots. Like spirit wants you to come out if you haven't already, like wants you to move through the process of energetically like sifting through what connections or people, places, and things are meant to stay with you and what isn't. Because that's part of how I see this energy here as well in the Seven of Cups. It's like you're looking at everything that's available to you and saying like, yep, that comes with me, or nope, that doesn't. Okay, so this is a major transformation and major evolution here. This is a big, I'm actually surprised we didn't get the Death card, because this feels like a major shift. And I think you may have already internally come to some conclusions here. You may be somewhere on this timeline, right? Like you may have like already started coming out, and you may be sort of in this like Five of Cups energy, Ten of Wands upright, kind of realizing the shifts that are happening. But please know, like all of this energy is on the other side of this process, and deep down, like this is who you are. Like there's so much healing you're going through right now. Like I said, you're literally like lightning. Your soul is lightning. And this is like divinely guided with this chariot. It's just coming through. This chariot is like, I'm just seeing this person like charge forward with the light of like the gods, almost of the angels. It's just kind of like you are divinely sanctioned here, okay, with this evolution for your soul. So I'm like, that's really cool energy. Like that is so freaking cool. Spirit, do you have more to say on this? Okay, they're saying one more card. Okay, one second here. Is this a piece of advice? Okay, they have one more piece of advice. Okay, I gotta switch decks 1 second here. Yeah, this is a big process, and again, totally normal. And also, if you're going through your like Five of Cups right now, some of the Ten of Swords upright, going through some of that Ten of Wands, like do know you're not alone. You're definitely not alone, and anything that falls away is just making space for something new here. Okay. Okay, yeah. They are doubling down on this moon. Like follow your intuition, follow your inner like again guidance system. There may be some, they're doubling down because the moon also speaks to like fear. Of course, that's natural, normal to this process to have fear about like, well, what happens after this? But I want you to see this timeline right here so you know what happens after this. Okay, it is bright, it is abundant. You are filled, like, you know, surrounded by community. You have friends who can align with you. Like there are people who are ready and willing to like show you love and give love to you. So all of that is available. Okay, Spirit, let's do this last card before we move. We're gonna do an oracle, I think. We might do an oracle, let's see. Yeah, okay, they just doubled it down again. That's it, we got the three of Pentacles. This is another card that speaks to community. This is another card that speaks to community. It's very similar to Three of Cups is very like celebratory. This speaks to community. Like you are not alone. You are not alone. And like I said, if I can help in any way in this process, like please reach out to me. I am, you know, sliding scales, whatever is needed for you. But like you are so not alone on this journey, and know that on the other side of this, there's like groups of connections and friendships who are here and waiting and available for you. Like again, I'm seeing this options card and this Three of Pentacles. Like there's no lack of options for you, of people to love you in any sense, in any capacity, platonic, romantic, familial. Like there's no lack of that, okay? Any more, Spirit? Okay, nope, that's all they wanted on that. They just wanted to really tell you just how like loved you are, because you're so loved, and there's so much love available for you. And like Spirit is here just like cheering you on. It's just like watching you break through like this chariot. I'm almost seeing this chariot like break through the battlefront of like the patriarchy and heteronormativity and all of the things that keep us kind of confined, and just like you breaking through and just being this like blazing, you know, symbol of light and freedom. And I feel like you inspire people more than you know. And I don't think that's probably another piece you don't realize is coming, is just like how inspired. I'm almost seeing like you on this like bench now. This is you. And these people are like looking on like, wow, look at pile 3 go. Look at them. Like they're just, look at them building themselves, like, you know, creating this like solid foundation and structure of who they are. Like, wow, I really like that. I admire that about pile 3. That's really cool. And I admire you too. All right. Beautiful. Well, I think that's what I have there. Let's go ahead. We're going to close out with a card from the Rose Oracle, just like some last messages from Spirit. Yeah, okay. Beautiful. So we're going to close out with that. Let me get the guidebook here. 1 second. I got a beautiful card for you. Oh, give me 1 second here. So sorry. I'm turning off my timer. The card is the Child Within. I love that. Inner Mother, innocence, gentleness, tenderness. This feels so beautiful and queer. So there's something around like with the 6 of Cups, before I read this, there's something around the 6 of Cups, and I know I started hinting on it, but it feels like you're embracing, again, a really big part of yourself. Like almost like this is you handing yourself, like metaphorically, spiritually, like your own flowers. And like, I feel like, I mean, those flowers are earned, and like, this is almost like you embracing that child who always maybe was, maybe always was this person, and just like didn't feel like you could be who you are because it felt unsafe, or because it felt like that wasn't possible, or because in a lot of ways, like that's the way, you know, the world has told us and programmed us to think and to feel. And so this feels really beautiful, and I almost see you as both the mother and the child here, which is really cool. And again, in a very like divine feminine way, in a very like we all have feminine energy way. Okay, there's like a beautiful like gentleness here. This feels very, very gorgeous. It feels very Venusian too, like Venus, and Venus is very LGBTQIA. So, okay, let's get into this one. I'm just gonna read it so we can see what last messages Spirit wants to share. Oh, there it is, the Child Within. Okay, so it's on page 68. I really could not find that one. Okay, here we go. We can be so hard on ourselves, expecting to heal according to a schedule and beating ourselves up when we make a mistake. The Rose wants us to release all hardness from our bodies and all hurt from ourselves, to find a way to soften, to remember that no matter what has happened, is happening, or will happen, we're all innocent children of the stars and the earth. The flowers are here for us. They're a safe, soft place to remember. That's so cool. Were we just talking about the flowers? Okay. And about safety? Soft place to remember. They want you to nurture the child within. This is a card of gentle reassurance and compassion. It brings a message of gentle understanding and tenderness. It's reminding you to treat yourself like the innocent child that you are, to take your inner child and let them rest deeply in the soft petals of your heart. We all have a child within us who at some point went into exile because they were hurt or because the world didn't feel safe. And no matter how much we've grown, when we as adults are hurt or triggered, it's normal to regress to this age and feel overwhelmed by the original emotion. And while we can't change the past, what we can do is scoop up the child within and place them in the soft petals of the rose of our own heart. And the soul inquiry here is, how can you tenderly tend the child within? And I think this is a gorgeous, gorgeous card to like close out this reading with, because I think there's a lot of like, I know there's a lot of tenderness and gentleness and understanding and compassion that you'll need to like show yourself. I'm seeing the star here, but to show yourself throughout this process as you're moving through this big shift
in your life to like be more authentic, to be who you are and who you were always meant to be and who you're meant to be now and moving into the future. And I think that's such a like beautiful message from Spirit, as just a reminder that no matter what happens outside of you, no matter what this coming out process looks like for you, like there is so much like love and encouragement, and Spirit is so proud of all you're doing to evolve as a spiritual being in this plane of existence. And there's just so much like love that they want to show you, but also like show yourself, because you're doing something that many people will never do in their lives, and that is to like liberate themselves and to really fully embrace and fold into love. What is more blessed than that? What is more blessed than that? Pile 3, I am so grateful to have gotten to do this reading with you and for you. And again, if I can support you in any way, definitely reach out. But this has been a gorgeous reading, and I am so grateful to Spirit and grateful to you for being here. But I wish you well in this journey, and welcome to the community if you're not already in it. And I will see you at our next reading. All right, bye for now.